There is something within us that resists waiting. We want answers now, results now, success now, fulfillment now. We are born into a culture of speed where patience feels like weakness and delay feels like failure. Yet, what most people don't realize is that waiting is not wasting. Waiting is preparation. Every season of waiting in your life is shaping you for what is to come. Even when nothing seems to be happening on the outside, something powerful is happening on the inside. Imagine a seed buried beneath the soil. From the surface it looks like nothing. Weeks may pass, and to anyone watching, it seems lifeless, forgotten, insignificant. But beneath the soil, in the darkness, roots are forming, foundations are being laid, strength is being built. If the seed were pulled out too soon, it would never survive. It needs time in the hidden place before it can push through into the light. That is how life works with us. The hidden seasons, the waiting seasons, the silent times when it feels like nothing is moving forward. Those are the times when the deepest preparation is taking place. The mistake so many make is equating waiting with failure. They think if it hasn't happened yet, maybe it never will. Maybe I'm not good enough, maybe I've been forgotten. But what if the opposite is true? What if the delay is the proof that you are being made ready for something bigger than you imagined? What if the very thing you call a setback is actually the stage being set for your breakthrough? Waiting is not wasting. It is the invisible training ground of your destiny. Look at nature and you will see this truth written everywhere. A tree does not grow overnight. Before it can reach toward the sky, it must first grow deep into the earth. Its roots must dig down, unseen, uncelebrated, unnoticed. But those roots are what keep it standing when the storm comes. If the roots are shallow, the tree will fall. So the roots must come first. In the same way, your waiting season is your rooting season. The longer you wait, the deeper the roots of your character, your wisdom, your resilience. And one day, when your time comes, you will rise stronger because of the unseen foundation that waiting built within you. Think about how fragile success can be when it arrives too soon. There are countless stories of people who achieved their dream quickly, before they were ready to handle it, and it destroyed them. They had the stage but not the strength, the spotlight but not the stability, the recognition but not the resilience. Success given too soon is not a blessing, it is a burden, and that is why waiting is a gift, though it rarely feels like it in the moment. Waiting ensures that when your opportunity arrives, you will not crumble under its weight. You will be ready, seasoned, steady, strong, but waiting is not passive. It is not sitting back with folded arms, complaining or losing hope. Waiting is active. It is what you do while you wait that determines who you become when the waiting ends. If a farmer plants a field, he does not abandon it just because the harvest does not appear immediately. He waters it, weeds it, protects it, nourishes it. He works while he waits, and so must we. Every day of waiting is an opportunity to grow, to learn, to build habits, to strengthen skills, to prepare for the moment when the opportunity arrives. The truth is, you cannot fast forward growth. You cannot microwave greatness. It takes time, it takes seasons, it takes stretching, pruning, enduring. Waiting is not wasted when it is invested in becoming the kind of person who can carry the dream. The dream is not the problem. Your readiness for the dream is. And so life in its wisdom makes you wait, not to punish you, but to prepare you. Think about the caterpillar inside the cocoon. From the outside, it looks like stillness. From the outside, it looks like waiting. But inside, transformation is happening. The caterpillar is being reformed into something completely new. And the struggle of pushing against the cocoon, the long wait inside the darkness, is what gives the butterfly the strength to fly when it emerges. If someone were to cut the cocoon open too soon, the butterfly would never survive. The wings would be too weak. The wait is not wasted. The wait is essential, and so it is with you. You may be in a place right now where it feels like life has pressed pause. The door hasn't opened yet, the opportunity hasn't arrived, the dream hasn't come to pass, and everything in you wants to quit, wants to force it, wants to despair. But I tell you this, do not despise the waiting. Because one day, you will look back and see that the waiting was the most important part of your story. The lessons you learned in the delay, the strength you built in the silence, the resilience you developed when nothing seemed to change, those will be the very things that sustain you when the moment finally comes. You see, waiting seasons are also testing seasons. They reveal your patience, your discipline, your faith, your endurance. They separate those who only want quick success from those who are truly committed. If you can remain faithful in the small things, if you can keep moving forward even when no one notices, If you can keep believing even when the evidence says otherwise, then you are proving that you are ready for the bigger things. Waiting is life's way of asking you, can I trust you with more? Many people waste their waiting by comparing themselves to others. They look at friends, colleagues, or strangers who seem to be moving faster, achieving more, reaching milestones sooner, and they feel left behind. But comparison only poisons the process. Every story has its own timeline. Every journey has its own pace. Just because someone else is in their season of harvest does not mean you are failing in your season of planting. When the time is right for you, nothing and no one can stop what is meant for you. And when it arrives, you will see that your waiting was not wasted. It was necessary. So instead of asking, why am I still waiting? Ask, what am I becoming while I wait? Am I becoming more patient? More disciplined, more compassionate? Am I building habits that will sustain me when the dream comes true? Am I growing in wisdom so that when the opportunity arises, I will not waste it? These are the questions that matter, because waiting is not about what you get at the end, but who you become in the process. Waiting also teaches gratitude. When you have had to wait for something, you value it more deeply when it finally arrives. If everything came instantly, we would take it for granted. But when you've endured the process, when you've struggled and stretched, when you've fought through disappointment, the fulfillment is sweeter. The dream is richer. The achievement is more meaningful. The waiting season teaches you to never waste what you once longed for. And perhaps the most beautiful truth is this: when the time finally comes, the wait will feel like a blink. The years of preparation, the nights of frustration, the days of wondering if it would ever happen, all of it will shrink in the moment of fulfillment. You'll realize it was worth every second because the timing was perfect, the stage was ready, and you were prepared. Life has a way of collapsing years into moments when the right time arrives, and in that moment you won't regret the wait, you'll be grateful for it. So if you are in a season of waiting now, do not despair. You are not wasting time, you are building foundations, you are growing roots. You are being prepared for something that could not have come any sooner. The very things you think are delaying you are actually shaping you. And when the time is right, you will rise into your moment, and you will look back and say to yourself, all those years of waiting, they were nothing. They were just a blink. There are moments in life when everything you hope for seems to be slipping further away. You work hard, you stay consistent, you pour your heart into something, yet the door remains closed. You knock, but there is no answer. You reach, but your hands come back empty. The human mind interprets this as rejection. We think that if something doesn't happen when we want it to, then it must not be meant for us. But what if the truth is entirely different? What if those delays are not life's way of denying you, but rather life's way of guiding you? What if the very obstacles you see as rejection are really redirection towards something better? Every closed door has a purpose. Every delay carries within it an invisible compass. We live with the illusion that we know exactly what we need, exactly when we need it, but reality is far wiser than our limited perspective. When you face a delay, it does not always mean no. Sometimes it simply means not yet, not here, not this way. And when you look back at your life, you will realize that many of the greatest blessings came not because everything went according to your plan, but because something interrupted it. Think about how often we pray or wish for something with all of our heart, believing it to be perfect, believing it to be the one thing that will complete us, and yet it doesn't happen. We cry, we rage, we feel defeated. But then time passes, the pain of the unanswered moment fades, and eventually something else enters our life. And suddenly it becomes clear, had we received what we once begged for, we would have settled for less than we deserved. The delay was not denial, it was protection, it was preparation, it was redirection. It is so easy to confuse rejection with abandonment. When something doesn't happen, we assume we've been forgotten, left behind, overlooked. But the truth is that every delay has meaning. Sometimes what you think is a dead end is really just a detour. You are not being pushed away from your destiny. You are being steered toward the right one. There are roads that lead nowhere, and sometimes delays save you from walking them. Consider a traveler who insists on taking the quickest path, ignoring every sign, every warning. The road is shorter, but it leads to a dead cliff. Another traveler chooses a longer path, one filled with twists and turns, and wonders why it must take so long. But when they finally arrive, they discover the destination was worth the journey. That is the nature of life. The delays you resent are often the very things saving you from destruction. What feels like wasted time is often preserved time. The delay is a hidden shield keeping you safe from what you cannot see. There is wisdom in the pauses of life. Imagine someone trying to bake bread but unwilling to let the dough rise. They rush it, they skip the wait, and the bread comes out flat, heavy, incomplete. The process cannot be cheated. In the same way, life delays us not to punish us, but because the rising takes time. Your opportunity needs to rise. Your readiness needs to rise, and when both align, that is when the breakthrough arrives. Delay is not denial. It is direction, pointing you to the right place at the right time with the right strength to carry it. Think of all the people you have crossed paths with, all the places you've been, all the opportunities that slipped away. Many times you thought that was the one. You thought that relationship was forever, that job was the dream, that city was home. But then it changed. The door closed, the person left, the job ended. And it hurt, but with time, you can see that if you had stayed there, you would not have grown into who you are now. The delay turned you, it shifted you, it carried you towards something far more fitting. We are not always the best judges of our own timing. Impatience clouds our vision. When something doesn't happen on schedule, we assume failure. But what if the delay is actually about alignment? Think about it, a train arrives at the station at the scheduled time, not when one passenger wishes it to. If you arrive too early, you wait. If you arrive too late, you miss it. But if you arrive at the right time, everything falls into place. Life is like that. Delays ensure that you and your opportunity meet in perfect alignment. Not too early, not too late, but right on time. Many people quit in the waiting. They misinterpret the silence as denial, and they give up before the direction can be revealed. They walk away, not realizing that the detour they are on is leading them closer to where they were always meant to be. What if the very thing you're waiting for is already on its way, but the delay is about shaping you to recognize it when it comes? Sometimes the opportunity is there, but you are not yet ready to handle it. The delay is about building you, not breaking you. Delays also teach trust. When you cannot control the timing, when you cannot force the outcome, you learn to surrender. You learn to believe that what is meant for you will not pass you by. You learn to rest in the knowledge that rejection is not always rejection. It is redirection. That relationship that ended, it made space for a deeper one. That job you didn't get, it freed you for the one where your gifts could thrive. That dream that felt delayed, it prepared you for something even greater than you dared to imagine. There are countless stories of people who thought their moment had slipped away, only to find that the delay was setting them up for something remarkable. An artist who faced years of rejection, only to create their greatest masterpiece later in life. An entrepreneur whose early ventures failed, only to stumble into the exact business that changed everything. A person who faced heartbreak, only to find a love that fit more perfectly than they ever thought possible. Delay is not denial. It is guidance, direction, alignment, and yet, while the delay shapes us, it also requires us to act differently. You cannot sit still in bitterness. You cannot waste the pause by drowning in frustration. You must use the time to grow, to sharpen, to become. The delay is your training ground. If the door hasn't opened yet, build the strength to carry what's behind it. If the opportunity hasn't arrived, prepare as though it already has. If the dream feels far, live in a way that proves you are ready for it. That way, when the direction reveals itself, you won't be scrambling. You will be prepared. The beauty of delay is that it humbles us. It reminds us that we are not in control of everything, that timing is not always ours to dictate, and yet, humility is what makes us strong. When you know you cannot rush the process, you learn endurance. You learn patience, you learn gratitude for the small steps, and those qualities are not weaknesses. They are the very strengths you will need when your breakthrough comes. Sometimes we must lose what we thought we wanted in order to gain what we truly needed. Sometimes we must walk through seasons of delay, so that when the direction becomes clear, we are wise enough to follow it. Delay is the teacher that whispers, trust the process, even when you do not understand it. And often, when the direction is revealed, the years of waiting will collapse into a single moment of clarity. You will look back and realize it could not have happened any other way. Delay strips us of illusion. It strips us of entitlement. It strips us of the idea that we can force destiny into our schedule. But in that stripping, it gives us something better. It gives us resilience. It gives us perspective. It gives us the ability to recognize that what is delayed is not necessarily denied. It is simply being rerouted, refined, and realigned. And when the door does open, when the opportunity does appear, when the dream does unfold, you will stand stronger, steadier, and more grateful than you ever imagined. There comes a point in every person's journey where the weight of waiting feels unbearable, where the struggle feels endless, where the nights seem longer than the days, and the dream that once set your heart on fire begins to feel like a distant illusion. You wonder if the effort is worth it, if the sacrifices are in vain, if the countless hours of work, the endless prayers, the moments of rejection and the silence after giving everything you had are building toward anything at all. But what if one day, when the moment finally arrives, you look back at every struggle, every tear, every sleepless night, and realize that the pain which once seemed so heavy now feels like a blink compared to the joy of the breakthrough? Life has a strange way of testing us in the waiting. It stretches us beyond what we thought we could handle, pulling at the edges of our patience, challenging the depth of our faith, and questioning the strength of our character. In the middle of it, the minutes drag, the days crawl, the years feel endless. But ask anyone who has ever reached their moment, who has stood at the finish line after years of running, and they will tell you this. The weight that once felt unbearable suddenly collapses into a memory, and the joy of fulfillment overshadows every ounce of the struggle. Think of a mother carrying a child. For months she endures discomfort, pain, sleepless nights, and worry. She sacrifices her body, her comfort, her routines. Every day feels long, every week feels harder. But the moment she holds that child in her arms, the weight of those months no longer feels like suffering. It feels like preparation. She may remember the pain, but compared to the joy, it feels small, almost fleeting. That is how life works. When the time is right, the years of struggle shrink into a blink because the beauty of what you receive outshines the burden of what you endured. There are countless examples of this hidden truth. The athlete who spends a decade training in the dark, waking up at dawn while the world sleeps, pushing their body to the edge, sacrificing fun, friends, and comfort, all for a race that lasts a few seconds. And yet, when they stand on the podium, medal glistening under the lights, the crowd roaring their name, the struggle does not weigh them down anymore. In that moment, all they feel is the joy, the triumph, the proof that it was worth it. The years of sweat and sacrifice compress into one heartbeat of glory. The same is true for the student who spends years studying late into the night, sacrificing weekends, carrying the weight of books and the stress of exams, all while their peers seem to live carefree lives. For them, the journey feels endless, the tests feel unrelenting. But when they finally cross that stage, diploma in hand, doors opening to a future they've worked so hard for, the burden of those years feels lighter than ever. The struggle fades into the background because the result makes the waiting feel like a blink, and so it is with every dream, every calling, every purpose worth pursuing. The waiting seasons are long, the roads are hard, the obstacles are many. But what is waiting doing, if not shaping us, strengthening us, preparing us to carry the very thing we are asking for? Sometimes we forget that blessings have weight. Opportunities come with responsibility. Dreams require endurance. If what you desire arrives too soon, it can crush you instead of build you. That's why life doesn't always hand you what you want the moment you ask for it. Instead, it allows you to struggle, to wait, to build the muscles of patience and perseverance, so that when the time is right, you don't just receive the dream, you are ready to carry it. And once you finally arrive at that moment, something powerful happens. The waiting no longer feels like punishment, the struggle no longer feels endless. Instead, it feels like the very thing that made the reward so sweet. Without the struggle, without the waiting, without the nights of doubt and the days of perseverance, the moment of victory would not taste the same. The struggle is what sharpens the sweetness of success. Think of a climber ascending a mountain. Step after step, mile after mile, every muscle aches, the air thins, the path becomes steeper. There are times they want to quit, times they wonder why they even began. The journey feels like it will never end. But the moment they reach the summit and the world opens before their eyes in a breathtaking panorama, the pain dissolves. The memory of struggle remains, but it is wrapped in triumph, transformed into a badge of honor. What felt like an endless climb now feels like a blink, because the destination made every step worth it. It is easy, in the middle of waiting, to forget this truth. When the door has not opened, when the answer has not come, when the dream feels far away, the human heart begins to despair. We question the process, doubt ourselves, and sometimes even give up before the finish line. But what if we held on one moment longer? What if the struggle you are facing today is the last test before your breakthrough? What if the years that feel so heavy right now are about to collapse into a blink the moment the right time arrives? Waiting teaches us to value what we receive. Instant gratification rarely carries depth. When something comes too easily, we take it for granted. But when you have fought for something, when you have endured hardship, when you have sacrificed for years to achieve it, you hold it differently. You protect it, you cherish it, you value it not just for what it is, but for what it cost you. That is why the struggle is never wasted. The longer the wait, the deeper the appreciation. And when the right moment comes, you will see that the waiting did not take from you. It gave to you. It gave you perspective, resilience, gratitude. It gave you a story worth telling, a strength worth carrying, a triumph worth celebrating. The truth is, the journey is always harder than the destination. The waiting will always test you more than the arrival. But if you give up in the waiting, you'll never experience the miracle of looking back and realizing that the years of pain collapsed into a single heartbeat of joy. Every person who has achieved something meaningful will tell you the same thing. When the time is right, all the struggle, all the waiting, all the tears feel like they were nothing more than a blink. So if you are in that place now, tired of waiting, burdened by struggle, tempted to quit, remember this truth. One day, the weight you are carrying will feel light compared to the reward you will receive. One day, the years of waiting will collapse into a moment of fulfillment that will make you forget how long the journey felt. And when that day comes, you will not look back with regret. You will look back with gratitude, because the struggle that once felt endless will have transformed into a blink in the light of your victory.